number 602223, and that was to expel the student and then suspend the expulsion order with conditions.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay,
A second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I do have one item to report out. There is a inclement weather makeup day that was voted on. A good motion by Mario and seconded by Hepburn to have the inclement makeup day the 22nd of March, 2023. Makeup for the day of the inclement weather day taken on Friday, February 24th, 2023, and that was passed 4-0. Well, one absent. So, any questions?
The makeup day will also, it will be, instead of the Wednesday being a minimum day, it'll be a full day. And then we'll have the minimum day at the end of the year rather than have a bunch of minimum days and then a whole day.
So the minimum day on the 5th?
So next Wednesday, it's the 22nd, instead of it being a minimum day, it's gonna be a full day. And so the 5th will be a minimum day.
That needs to be announced too.
Yes, that's why I brought it up.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I'll make that question, that information.
Yeah, how's that gonna affect summer school?
We'll have to figure that out,
Yeah.
but we don't have any other options really. We have to make up that, we have to use that day.
All right.
The inclement weather day.
That was just one of the questions I
Following year, we put it in.
yeah. Now
Well,
you,
it is on the calendar for that Monday. It's right there.
No, I know, it's just,
That we
But
have finally.
we're gonna use the crowd, no one's used to this.
Okay, all right. Procedurally, the recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as for public record. Pledge of allegiance. The Senate is complete. You're up. Could you lead? Yes, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I like to involve students as much as I can in this one way, so thank you. I know you looked a little shocked at me, but that's just the way I did this thing. Okay, present. Members present, I'm here, Marge here, Adrian's here, Sunny's here, and Mr. Moore is absent, and Alexi's here. Okay, approve agenda.
Make a motion?
So moved by Sunny,
I see.
second by Adrian, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports and communications, drama presentation. Heather Burgess?
Thanks for having us. We, the students, are going to just present about some of the things that have been happening in our drama program this year. So, take it away. Okay. Hi guys, we're advanced drama.
I'm Trenton, and I'll be presenting you guys with the Fall Improv Show. So the Fall Improv Show happens around, as it's in its name, fall, so around October to November. We end up doing improv games where we end up not going off script. We just go off our heads. Some of the games that we did were questions only, in which it's a very fun game where you only answer a question with a question.
Okay. So we did a play, Alice in Wonderland, the real story of Alice in Wonderland. And so as kind of like a project for beginning stage check, we had them like with cardboard build kind of our stage and then build little sets just for like inspiration of our sets. And I think they had a lot of fun with it. There's some really cute ones. We actually used some of these.
Those little miniatures?
Yeah, they're like little Just the boxes.
Okay.
They're really cute.
I thought it was the actual set.
That's what I thought.
So zoomed in, a little miniature design.
No.
We just
They're just little
You'll
shots.
see the actual set in some other.
Yeah. And then beginning drama students had a project to where they could take any character from show, movie, book, game, whatever, or they can completely make someone up. And then they had to like make a costume for them, and they had to like cut out pictures from magazines or put little like pictures or like samples of fabric and describe the costume and the character and how it's like reflecting the character. So yeah, I think they had fun with that one too because it was really like a chance for them to express their creativity.
And this was our fall play, the real story of Alice in Wonderland. As you can see, this is the Mark Brown and Amy what's her last name? Marquez?
Yeah.
Painting the set. This entire set was designed by the students. Some of the costumes were designed by the students, which I think is a very cool touch because they're very 90s inspired. This is a different take on Alice where there's two different tellings of the story where one is mean and one is nice. It's all three. Oh, well, yeah. Spoiler alert. At the end, it's revealed that there's actually one true narrator, but you'd have to see it.
Sorry.
Is there stuff on here?
Yes.
As you can see, here's the full set, which was inspired by some of the beginning stage tech people who designed the sets. And here's our lovely actors.
It was also our first show.
Yeah.
It was our first real show.
Yeah.
Yeah, our first full-length play we got to do since the COVID shutdown, so that was exciting too.
Oh, our CETA trip. So every year, drama takes a trip to CETA, which is the California Educational Theater Association Festival. Mouthful. Where we meet a bunch of different schools' drama programs and get to see different shows acted out. We get to see a bunch of there's like 3 main shows that we get to see from different schools who win like a contest, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the festival scenes, which is a bunch of different acts. Was there 4?
Yeah, we saw.
There's
There's 4
Okay.
plays in one festival.
Okay, yeah. And then there's the festival of 1 acts where you get to see a bunch of different scenes from shows that maybe got cut. But it was very fun. We got to meet a bunch of different schools and a bunch of, we made a bunch of friends and we got to see how different schools function within their drama programs. And we also went to a bunch of workshops and got to see, like for example, I did an improv workshop where they taught you how to be a little more fluid within improv. Yeah.
Dr. Seuss week. So, I'm not Wayne, but so we took
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Gosh, time flies. So we took we took seniors with us. We took Lane, Brenda, Maddie, Isabel, me, and Jordan, and we went to the and Angel. So we all went to RES and West Park. We read 2 stories from Dr. Seuss. We read Starbilly Sneetches and Green Eggs and Ham. And it was very fun because we got to interact with the students. I personally got to interact with my little siblings, in which, they loved it, they adored it, they had fun, they enjoyed watching it. And I asked around what the students wanted to be, and they said, I want to be an actor. So just hearing that after seeing us go, it's like very inspiring.
So this was our variety show. A variety show is basically a bunch of like completely student-directed scenes. We were able to choose scenes from anything. From shows, from like I don't know, YouTube videos, skits. We actually had some scenes that were completely written, like original. And yeah, it was really fun. We had like some musical numbers. It was just like a bunch of funny scenes, and it was really fun. It was really fun to like kind of, I don't want to say come down from a very serious show, because Alice in Wonderland wasn't serious, but just be able to like I don't know, have our own freedom to direct a show and see what we want to happen on stage.
And this one is our next show, Center of the Universe, which is a musical. The script is written by one of our own students, Rhiannon Martell, and one of our friends. Yeah. Sadie Gibson.
Made the music.
She made the music. Rhiannon wrote the script.
Yeah. It's
It's very fantasy inspired, and how else would you describe it?
it's like
They'll have to come see it.
yeah, you'll definitely it's really good. The casting is really fun. The music's really good, and the script is really good for being completely original. Nobody has ever done this before, and we're gonna be the first ones to do it. So yeah, it's gonna be really fun. It'll happen May 3rd through the 6th. And then yeah. That's it. Is there another slide?
That's the end.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Have a good night.
Thank you. I know, they have to leave. They've got it. I know, did you have questions for them? They can stay and answer all the questions.
Sorry. You have any questions? No. All right.
Okay.
Have a good day. So sorry. Have a good day. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
And we thank the principal, Mr. Barnes, please keep bringing them on. It's nice to know what's going on.
Yeah.
In, the clubs that we have at the schools. And it's not just to the high school either. It can also be done from the other schools that may or may not have clubs that like to give a presentation. So, next we have Recognition Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Artis.
Okay. All right, well, welcome everybody. We have the honor tonight of bringing our Teachers of the Year for some recognition. They've been recognized by their school sites, maybe for some of the great things that they do, going above and beyond, but really they're recognized for just the great things that they do every day in their classroom and for their school sites. So our first recognition is for Roseman Elementary, and that is Katie Denton.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Our next Teacher of the Year from Tropico Middle School is Shauna Timich.
I have been to her classroom twice, and believe me, it is phenomenal. These kids are going to learn a lot about STEM. So keep up the good work.
I've only been once, but good job.
Yes, I can.
The next one we have is from West Park Elementary, and that is Tara Shank. She could not be here tonight, but we do want to make sure that we recognize her. And from Roseman High School, this teacher was chosen as Teacher of the Year for Roseman High School, but also as Teacher of the Year for the Southern Curtin Unified School District. This is Veronica Carr. Continuing on for Teacher of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have of your kids, huh? So much. Oh my gosh. So much. Thank you.
All right, well, let's give everybody a round of applause.
I gotta go to Tehachapi. Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right, RTA report.
All righty. Mine's a downer, so. Well, first off, I'd like to say what a nice job the High School Drama Club did with their presentation. A special shout out to Heather for organizing and running such a wonderful program at the high school. Also, as she mentioned earlier, thanks for putting on the Dr. Seuss Riff assemblies each year at West Park and Roseman Elementary. Again, the kids love it, and we're glad they're back. Next, congratulations to all teachers who were recognized tonight. You're fabulous, not to mention hardworking and dedicated for helping all of your students. As with Mrs. Carr, it's hard to believe that we've known each other since 2002. We love debating movies and baseball. In fact, our family spent a wonderful day together watching the Dodger game at the Coliseum in 2008, celebrating the 50 years that my favorite team has been in LA. Of course, she and her family were rooting for the Red Sox. Again, congrats to you. Well, the third quarter is going to be over this Friday. Thanks to all teachers for working so hard for each student that we see and teach each day. Lastly, with inclement weather day makeup, thanks to the district for working with RTA and CSEA on this. And thanks for listening to our comments and concerns. Also, the next LCAP meeting with Dan Wexler will take place tomorrow. And I look forward to going through that again. And that's it.
Thank you. No CSE here? No reps? All right.
She's not anymore.
Yeah, she's still a valuable person on our safety and security, so we're glad she's still staying with us. Okay, Lindsay, congratulations on your, at least your playoff run.
Thank you.
And the rest of you girls. And welcome back, since we do miss you when you're out there playing hard. We know you play hard. Thanks. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. The high school on Tuesday had a blood drive, and we're also planning a Spirit Week and maybe a pep rally for spring break. Softball and baseball are in full swing with their first league games on Tuesday, and football has also started training for next year.
Thank you. CBO report, Mr. Irving.
I don't remember if I talked about this first bullet point last week or not, or last board meeting, but so if I have, please cut me off. But if you'll recall back to the summer, the district was picked to be a part of the federal program monitoring audit for the state. It's a honor that, we absolutely love having our federal programs picked apart by the state to make sure that we are doing things accordingly. Anyways, all of that said, as of the end of February, we wrapped that up with no findings from the state for anything. This time around, they looked at Title II, Title IV, and code expenditures to make sure that everything was following correct procedures for spending federal money. So, very happy to have that monkey off my back and, one less thing to stress about at night. In this similar spirit, our annual audit starts next week with Jeanette and her team from Redlands coming up to start the look at the start of this school year. So, done with one audit, starting another one. It's, you can't win for trying. What else we got? Coming up in the next 2 weeks is a call with Moody's, the investment ratings analyst, to give an update on the state of the district and go over how things are going post-COVID and everything, and basically give them an update so they can revise their bond rating for the district, so that if we were to go out for a bond, that they have the most timely information on how to rate said bond. And then as far as my social calendar goes, Friday I will be in Bakersfield the Kern County Safety Symposium is doing an active shooter training at one of the schools in Bakersfield, so I'll be up there for that all day to go through scenarios and take copious notes and everything so that we can, make sure that we are following best practices. In April is the annual conference for the California Association of School Business. So I will have 2 days during spring break. I'll be in Long Beach attending that with, other CBOs and school people throughout the state. And that is all for me.
Assistant Superintendent, Instruction and Curriculum? Yep. Anything for that? Okay. Associate Superintendent, Human Resources, Ms. Sardis.
All right. Congratulations to all of our Teachers of the Year. The honor is certainly well deserved. Soon we will be honoring our classified staff, so that will be coming soon. HR continues to be very busy. Testing took place today for potential classified staff and subs. Interviews will be held soon for paraeducators, CSOs, custodial openings, and as well as some of our certificated openings. We are going to be attending a job fair in Bakersfield on Saturday, the 25th of March. And we're also planning a district-wide job fair on April 15th at Roseman Elementary School. More information to come on that one. And that is it for me.
Superintendent report, Ms. Steen.
Thank you, Mr. Vincelette. I want to say welcome to everyone. So nice to see lots of people here at the board meeting and also our families at home who are joining us. It was great to have the drama students here this evening with Mrs. Burgess, just observing all the different presentations and the work that they do in this class. You can tell that the kids really, really enjoy it. And kudos to Mrs. Burgess for all the productions and the costumes and the scenery and everything that they work on. That's wonderful. I'm also going to congratulate Mr. Notterman this evening because since you only give me one chance to say something, I don't want to miss this opportunity to say to him and the girls soccer team, wow, you guys are incredible. I'm so proud of you, and thank you, Mr. Notterman, for being such a great coach and leader and role model for our students. It's awesome. And I also want to congratulate Mr. Notterman again, although you haven't voted on it yet. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait. I want to congratulate a couple of our employees this evening who, Mr. Notterman being one of them, who is transitioning, and I don't want to hear Mario say to the dark side, but he is going to be our new counselor for our college and career, especially overseeing our Antelope Valley College classes that we offer in our dual enrollment program at Roseman High Early College campus, and so excited to welcome him into that position. And I also want to congratulate our Director of Special Education, who has been in that role for, I believe, 10 or 11 years, who will be transitioning to the Assistant Superintendent of Special Education and Pupil Personnel, even though I probably will still be doing most of the pupil issues, because I kind of like it. Keeps me in contact with the kids. So, but I want to congratulate Cheryl Taylor as well. And to our Teachers of the Year, wow, what an honor for all of them. Mrs. Carr, I just want to say I also like your brother and your husband. So you're surrounded by good people there. So congratulations for being our district representative, and to the other representatives from our schools, all very, very worthy people, do an outstanding job in the classroom. And I want to talk briefly about our parent center. My community school grant coordinator, don't cover your face, Fallon, will be presenting to you all very soon. We are working diligently to prepare our parent community center to open. We have a goal of a date in April to make this a facility where our parents feel very comfortable to come and get information, not only about issues that are really prevalent for them, not only about college, but social emotional issues, mental health, all sorts of academic, all sorts of issues that will benefit our parents. So we hope to have the center up and running by mid-April. And finally, I want to say to the Tropico team today that, and I want to share this with our parents, sometimes our facilities are forced to go into a lockdown, not because there's something necessarily going on the campus, but because there could be something that is questionable in the community or near the campus. So our number one priority in Southern Kern is always going to be the safety of our students and staff. And so sometimes when we hear or we are made aware of things, we will put that school into lockdown until such time that we feel it is safe for the students to then be out and about and transitioning from one class period to another. So I want to thank also, I want to shout out to Mr. Shevlin and his team, Mrs. Atkinson and Mr. Small, and all the teachers and all your staff members who I understand the students did very, very well. And I want to thank especially our parents. We had a few phone calls, and all of them, once they knew that we had put the school in that lockdown as a precaution, and I would do it every single moment of every single day if I thought it would be for the best interest and safety of our kids and staff. So I just want to thank all of our parents, because I noticed we did get a few phone calls today, and once they heard that we did it and there wasn't really anything going on the campus, okay, thank you, and they were content with that. So just a little information to let you understand why we sometimes do what we have to do. And I believe that's it for me. Thank you. No, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that.
Attendance, yes. All right. Get my sheet here, so Okay, so every month we give an attendance award for elementary, secondary, and most improved. So I'm going to start this evening with best attendance secondary, and Mr. B, you and Miss Calzada, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you won it again. But I say it every time, you better pay close attention, because in case you haven't heard, he is really working hard to get the notices out to parents.
7 months I've been hearing that.
There you go. Congratulations. And let's see. Most improved attendance goes to back in the positive, Mr. Torres, Rare Earth High School. You're welcome. Congratulations. And best attendance elementary. Mr. Adams, Roseman Elementary. You had 90.85%. No, I'm sorry, that's not you. You had 90.99%.
Good job.
Okay, and now I want to recognize our soccer team. So Mr. Notterman, I'm gonna ask you to come up and introduce all of your wonderful players.
Over here.
Wherever you feel comfortable.
I know they passed it around last week, Mr. Vince, let you work here to see it. Oh, you guys see that? I'm a little hoarse this evening, so I apologize for that. Thanks for the kind words last week. Thank you. Last week and tonight, we have a whole group of hardworking girls that we come out in October for tryouts, and then we practice all winter. When it's cold, it's rainy, it's wet, and the girls are there every day working hard. I know you guys know Alexis. She's here all the time. You guys shout her out, and she deserves all those accolades, right? She was our offensive MVP. She was first team All-League. She's nominated for the All-Kern County team, which we'll find out hopefully Friday. We have another young lady who's not here this evening, Burgundy Davison. She's also nominated for the All-Kern County team. Like I said, hopefully Friday we'll find out. We have Kylie Eubanks here, our goalie. She's on the second team, all HDL. We have the Rico sisters, Alicia and Alexis. We have Olivia McAndrew. We have the next bench in the works because, you know, we keep cycling through them. Lisa Vasquez is in the back trying to hide. And of course, our coaching staff, Coach Monica Barrios, Coach Pepe. It takes a group. And we hear positive words from you guys at the board meetings. I watch every week, even though I'm not here. I saw Mr. Vincelet a couple times at the game. It's cold, but he hides out in the booth. I won't tell you your secrets. I know sometimes the cold keeps us kind of scared to come out, but it's not that cold. If Pepe can handle it, anybody can handle it. We had a great season. We started off kind of on a losing streak. We played some really tough teams, but once we got winning, we kind of kept winning. We qualified for the playoffs. Played probably the best soccer we played in the 3 years that I've been the head coach of this team, and the weather kind of got us off our schedule because the roads were closed. And we went to McLean finally, 4 days after we were supposed to play for a final, and unfortunately we came out on the losing end. But runner-up in CIF isn't anything to hang their heads about. So, also, I know a lot of times, especially board members talk about grades and academics and stuff like that. Our entire roster, 3.5 GPA combined.
Go ahead.
Of course, Mr. B support, right? The day we left for our final, I'm sure some of you guys saw on Facebook, they had the whole school out there cheering these young ladies on. They deserved every second of it. Miss Cruz in the cafeteria always sending us with food, so our players stay nurtured. Miss Desiree in transportation, always making sure that we get to our games on time. So that's it. We had our awards banquet tonight, so our season's officially done. So our practices are going to start in just a couple months, and we'll see you guys out there next season. So, anybody want to say anything, Lexi, Kylie, our captains? They put them on the spot.
For a picture of the newsletter.
So when the picture comes up.
It's okay, we all
Come on, Debbie. Come on, Coach Monica.
Wait, come here. Just go right here. You're small. Right here.
No. Hey, Bobby, show the picture. That's smile. We got softball season happening? Yeah.
It helps when the softball coach is the parent of your team players, so they can come here. Unfortunately, we're losing Alexi and Kylie to graduation. Returners we're probably going to have of our 19 players, we're going to return 14 of them. So, the ones that are graduating are all key players, and we're gonna miss them, but, we have a young group. Most of these girls, all these girls except for Kylie and Alexi, will be back next season. Thank you, guys.
Nothing else. Why we did what we did, so. We put the onus back on the coaches.
The first part of student athlete is student.
That is correct.
These girls excel in the classroom as well.
That's good. Okay. And you're right, we are going to definitely miss Alexi, not just from her sports prowess, but being on the board here. When we can get her here when she's not playing, and then when she's not falling asleep on us, but not learning.
And I'm glad to see that all of our absences for these playoff games didn't affect the attendance award, Mr.
Okay. Okay. Board member communications. Go ahead, Adrian.
Okay. So welcome to everyone. That left. Just a few things. Just congratulations to all our teachers on your hard work. That's amazing. It takes a special person to be a teacher and deal with everything you guys have to deal with. So, good job. The RHS, the robotics team, I saw that they took money.
46.
Okay, yeah, so that's. Yeah, they just, they have some Ventura, right? Yeah, so that's great. A thank you to the drama team, Ms. Burgess, and the students for their presentation. And again, the girls soccer team. Good job. Hard work. That's all I have.
Good. Mario?
I want to thank the drama team for coming up and do their presentation. It was really cool to see that the miniatures that they started out with that and then went to doing the full set. It's amazing what set designers can do with a room. They can take this room and make it look into a hospital room in about 8 hours. And then the next morning you'll come in and now it's a garage. And they are really hands down on the set people. Not just the actors, it's everybody that's behind the scenes that it's amazing. So keep going, guys. There's really good jobs out there for the drama people. And the teachers of the year, you guys are all amazing. My kids had a bunch of you, and they still talk about you in a good way. So yes, you guys, a lot of times we don't realize how much impact you have on students. You impact so many kids every year. So thank you. Congratulations on your guys' soccer team for doing so well. You guys are awesome. But I am mostly impressed with the grades that you guys were able to achieve. Now, they do have an award for an all-academic team, which I really have a feeling you guys will be awarded that award. I really hope you do. Yes, sir.
As well as being first team all-league for our league, Alexi was also on the all-academic team for our league.
Who else?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. They all left, but you guys are still here. This is a real show. We're really about to get started. And thank you, everybody that's watching. Congratulations, Mr. Nodman, to your team, to your ascendants, to your new role. We haven't voted on it yet, but she put in a good word. Right. Now, it was good to see the drama team and hearing that, they're actually writing their own scripts and composing and doing all that's exciting. And it's exciting for them to do that. And it does take great teachers. So, you're the last one here. So thank you. Congratulations. And if I could just nominate a teacher, I'd like to nominate Mrs. McMahon, my daughter's kindergarten teacher. I think she's amazing. Like, my daughter loves going to school. Like, one time I forgot to send back her sight word testing thing, and she didn't pass it, and I forgot to send it back. And her teacher was like, "Well, I know you're ready," and then she passed. And I was like, "Yay! Like, good job." It takes those teachers to actually, support the kids and see what they need and keep them moving forward. And to you, Mr. Shevlin, good job. I saw those emails going out about the tardies. My kid came home with something I had to sign. I was like, "You're going to do this, right? We're not playing games. Like, get to class on time." It makes no sense. So it's just a continuous struggle, uphill battle to remind your kids, to tell them to get to class, to say, it's not hard. Just go to class. Just go. Other than that, spring is here. I see you back there. I see you, Mr. Torres. Spring is here. It's getting hot. It's time to play in the dirt. Find some. Are they going to do anything with that garden in the middle of West Park? Those raised beds?
We had it last year for after school program. I will tell you, we planted a bunch of wonderful things, and the gophers came and ate them.
Oh,
so I said, "For
Was it gophers or squirrels?
And there was holes in the ground. Huge.
Okay.
So
that's why you have to have some dummy plants for them and then yours.
Right.
Plant more.
I
This season's going to be amazing. We've got all this rain. It's going to be a great season. I'm telling all of you guys, plant something. Throw some seeds out there. Some sunflowers, some lettuce, some kale, squash, peppers, tomatoes. You can grow anything. Huh? Bell peppers?
I said, no, I thought you said no peppers.
No, lots of peppers.
Okay.
All of the peppers. You can grow anything. So let's do that. That's it. Thank you, guys. That's the serrano seeds. Yes.
Okay, again, I'm going to say kudos to all the teachers awards. Congratulations. I don't remember if you had any of my kids in SCART, but Aaron. Okay, well, that's my grandson.
Okay.
But we had Ryan and Derek. I think you probably would remember them. And so forth. I didn't think so because I usually went to the classes, so that's why I'm going. Okay, but you didn't have Aaron. By the way, if you didn't know, Aaron is now married and is working as a general manager for a sushi restaurant down in LA. So just to give you. So your success is showing. So enjoy that. All right. And also, too, I've had the opportunities, because I was on the school board back 2001 to 05, to actually see Tara Shanks get hired and watch her grow as she went through it for the years. And she is really a great teacher as well, so I'm glad she's part of that group. Soccer team, again, Mr. Nottingham, yes, I did get out there, but I spend too much time at Frazier Park when doing football when it's snowing and the wind's blowing. So you can understand why I'm going to hike.
I understand.
So, but I try to make as much as I can. The one thing is that unfortunately, Lexia will not be able to attend any of your softball games because I will not be umpiring any of your softball games. I am umpiring in high school softball this year. So just to let you know that's not an excuse. We just want to give anybody an excuse saying, "Hey, the school board president is doing your game." We're not going to do that. Okay.
Just don't tell them.
No, they know. There isn't anybody in this valley doesn't know who I am. Okay, and kudos, Dad. Your orientation last night was outstanding. A lot of teachers, I went around to a lot of the rooms. I actually thanked the teachers who did show up, and so forth, because it was an extreme success. I took a little video of the room. I don't know what the numbers were, but it was sure a heck of a lot. It was even more, I think, than you had your sixth grade orientation list. So they're there, and I think the parents like to see that. And the reason is because now they can see what's going on with the kids, and it's not during a rushed time. So, Mr. B, something to think about down the line, because I know the parents would like to see that. And the drama, again, going with what I have requested, is get some of the clubs to come in and present to us what's going on. That was great, and I thank them. And when I get the opportunity, as you're well aware, we formed a safety and security subcommittee with Mario and I, but we are actively participating in the district's committee. And we have Fallon's there, Kim's there with us, Mr. Irving's there with us, so yes, Dave was there as well. I'm sorry. We're getting the people there because we're getting a lot of good comments and so forth. And I chuckle a little bit when I go, well, I don't know if I want to say, no. This safety security is for one reason only. The safety and security of the kids in the district. Everything, as I said before, is on the table. It doesn't come off the table until the committee takes it off the table. Okay? So, one of the things that we talked about the other night is ID cards. I know Ed says he's got a few students that like to play a little game with the ID cards. We're not going to keep reissuing ID cards. We cannot afford to have 5, 6 ID cards out floating around someplace. So we're coming up with a temporary ID. I think Robert's looking into that for us to see what we can do to keep that going. See what's being made or changed or whatever, because we need to have that input from everybody. And, I think the next time, other than the 2 hearings we have next week, I probably won't see anybody until the 18th of April. So I'm going to go have fun and visit my oldest son in Japan, so I can learn to eat better sushi, is what my daughter-in-law keeps telling me. So other than that, I guess we'll now move on. See if there's got anything else to add. Comments from the public?
No.
None? Okay, I'll dismiss the reading. Consent items?
Does anybody have any questions before I make a motion?
This is just the curriculum for the high school for science, right? So, have we approved curriculum? This is just for science for the high school, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept APG.
Okay.
A second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Third reading, review approval of updates to board policy bylaws 9223 and board policy bylaw 9250. Mrs. Gaines, we're going to make a change.
Yes, sir. If the board would please refer to page 85 in your packet. These 2 board policies were on the agenda or are on the agenda as an action item. However, I understand that you may want to change something. Mr. Gutierrez, do you want to?
In paragraph 7, it states that board members ceasing to discharge the duties of his or her office for a period of 2 consecutive months. I want to change that to meetings. And then the rest of it is fine, but that needs to be corrected.
Meetings to months.
Months to meetings.
And Mr. Gutierrez and to all the board, is everything else, I know this is your 3rd time to see these 2 action items, but are you comfortable and content with everything else on here?
Yes, all the other ones seem to be okay. We have changed a lot of stuff in there that we took out.
And so we will then bring these back 20th or the 21st of this month.
Okay.
Yeah, so either one of those days, whatever you can do. So we will bring those back next week. There'll be an item on the board agenda.
Thank you.
And everybody's in agreement from the board, okay?
Yes, it will be brought back as an action item. Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, so,
So we will table
okay,
I'll make a motion to table A till Monday with revision. Okay, either Monday or Tuesday, whichever day is feasible, but I'll make the motion to table till that time with the revision.
yep,
I'll second that.
okay, that was the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else? First reading review of approval of December 2022 board policies.
Is it an action item, Mr. President?
It is an action item.
I motion we approve the board policy.
Yeah, is that a recommendation from policy committee?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Approve the Southern Kern Unified District's transportation plan, Mr. Irving.
Alright. So at the last board meeting, I did a presentation. There weren't any substantive changes to the transportation plan. Survey went out to parents following the board meeting, and the consensus of parents was in line with the recommendations from the board on distance for pickup. So following approval of the plan, I'll be working with Desiree to see how narrow the scope is to do and what's feasible with the routes we have and if we need to add more routes, what all of that looks like, so that we can try and provide, home to school for as many students as possible.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the plan.
Second by Brandon. All in favor?
Aye.
A2A report custom chronic rates, fiscal year 2021, 22, 22, 23. Christine?
Yes, I don't think you can see the chart. I just wanted to provide for the board an update on how we're doing in our attempt as a district overall to improve attendance. The right-hand side of this chart is the 22-23 school year, and this data was pulled for us on February 27th. So it's not an entire year yet. As you can see, Abraham Lincoln, from 21, 22, had a percent of custom chronic students was 49%. Now, this is going to vary because you have to take into consideration the number of students enrolled at each school. It does vary somewhat from one year to the other. So they went from 49% chronic absenteeism to, as of February 27th, to 56.6% of chronic absenteeism. Our chronic absenteeism, I recently was at a meeting in Kern County with the site administrators and also Mr. Wexler with me. Chronic absenteeism is an issue that we really, really, really need to improve in Southern Kern, along with the number of suspensions that we give out on an annual basis. We look at Rare Earth High School, 21-22, they had 81.7% chronic students, and this year it's 86.8% chronic absenteeism. Roseman Elementary, 21, 22, moved from 46% down to 34. So that is Mr. Adams, I don't know if you're noticing that, but that is a move in the right direction. Oh, gosh. I said, here, no, I'm just kidding. Roseman High Early College Campus went from 45.6%, also a move in the right direction. Mr. B, Ms. Calzada, 37% chronic absenteeism. And as much as we love these downward percentages, when you still think 37%, that's greater than 1 out of 3 students on campus are still chronically absent. So we have a lot of work to do. Tropico Middle School went from 43.3 down to 41.3. So that is an improvement as well. A win is a win. West Park Elementary School went from 36.5% down to 28.5%. So I just wanted to show you, board and our parents and community, that we are it's just a common fact. If students are not in school, they're not learning. We need our students to be in school every single day. And we certainly understand that, kids went through a difficult time last year. There was still a lot of COVID in the community everywhere. But I really appreciate the parents fighting a good fight and getting their students here. We still need to improve this number, but we are moving in a positive direction. As a win is a win. So I just wanted to update you with that, and I can update you again at the end of the year.
Okay. Approved change in contract with Medallion Contracting for site utility work for Tropical Middle School expansion project. Sterling?
Alright, so this is the culmination of a few different change orders as the project that Tropical has gone on. The most expensive part of that is a change order for $51,000 for the blacktop basketball court. There was an issue with elevation, so that it didn't slope quite enough. It was about a percent off from where it should be, so that instead of water receding off of the blacktop, it would have pooled. So they've had to redo the overacts and basically go back over it to get a sharper angle. And as part of that, remove 3 of the basketball hoops, and then instead of just having an empty area over there, the district has opted to turn that part of the blacktop into a outdoor volleyball court, so that this space is still being utilized and can be utilized for lunch and breaks and PE and stuff in different ways. Additional change orders included additional fencing and gates, so they walk through on the north end of the campus with the housing track there, installation of a gate and fence there, so that if need be, it can all be closed off, as well as additional fencing on the east end of the campus near the corners of the property line to ensure that the property is adequately sealed off. So all in all, the total of all those change orders at this point is $72,276. Any questions on anything I just went through, or?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. I'll second. Second from Mario. All in favor?
Aye.
I went out and took signs.
I thought I'd whip that out.
I think you're talking about the thank you.
I figured you would.
Yeah, we'll make that. Didn't want to drink and go to church.
No, come on. Okay. Approved proposed site Plan and classroom buildings for modernization of project at RES. Steve?
Yes, sir. Board members, in your packet, you received some plans that look something like this. This is for the modernization for Roseman Elementary preschool TK. And although I've had classes in perspective drawings, I'm going to ask Mr. Gutierrez to sort of walk you through this and answer any of your questions.
The buildings in blue right there are the ones that are going to get modernized. Those are the three southern edge buildings, and the one that's closest to the new RES are the ones that are going to get modernized. And the modernization that has to get done, need the next page, the different page. There we go. Each building has to be 1,300 square feet for kids under the age of first grade, I think. Right? Yes. So the only way we can get those buildings, or each room is right at 1,000, so they're not big enough. And one of the regulations is that we have to have bathrooms indoors for the kids. So we're adding bathrooms in the middle section and opening up doors that go from the actual classroom side to be able to go into the bathroom side. And then on the far upper wall, it'll be teacher stations. So the teachers have an area where they can work away from the kids. We originally were going to completely eliminate those end or the middle walls and then just put the wall in the middle, but the structures will not hold that. And if we wanted to modernize at that point, it would cost way more than the state has allowed us to spend. So this is the alternate that we get to be able to use. And so both rooms have separate bathrooms. So the room on the, I guess it would be the west side, will have its own bathroom, and the room on the east side will have its own bathroom. There is one building that has the adult bathroom right on the end of the building, and then I'm trying to remember. Robert, do you remember if the two other buildings have restrooms for the adults inside, or are they on the end of the hallway?
I believe they're on the end of the hallway.
The end of the hallway, yeah. Okay. And then one of the classrooms, we have to add doors to the backside. All those rooms for the TK have to have 2 exits. So, or pre-K, because they're not. They're real little guys. So we have to have exits to both sides, so we'll be doing that. I think on the next slide is this is just the lighting and stuff that we will have to be putting in, and the acoustic ceilings. Next. And yeah, this is the end building on the north side east that has the bathrooms on the end. And I think that's about it, isn't it?
There's that one.
Oh, that's where they have the bathrooms on the end.
Is it the east one or the west one? I'm thinking it's the
It's
north.
the northeast. No, they had the bathrooms on the end.
So each one of those 3 buildings that we saw, this is like the models for each one of those.
Yes, they're all going to be internally. They're going to all be the same.
With the bathrooms.
And
4 buildings, yes.
later, we will be the architects are working on this portion of it. There's gonna be some bid alternates coming up that we can decide, because all the glass in every one of those rooms is really not up to today's standards. So we are looking at ways that we can redo all the glass in all our buildings. So because they're, if I remember right, they're all single pane glass. They're not dual pane with nitrogen in them. So where that'll be a bid alternate because we only get X amount of money from the state. And so we're still in the planning stages. And then we're also looking at the infrastructure for the bathrooms, because that's also a big issue. Because that campus was built in '54, if I remember right. So there's a lot of renovation that's going to be having to be done. Okay, anybody have any questions?
I just wanted for clarity, Mr. Gutierrez, to basically saying, please correct me if I'm wrong, basically we have 12 classrooms that are going to be cut down to 8.
Correct.
Okay. At 1,350 square foot each. Thank you.
Okay. What's that?
Well, I don't.
Get through all the planning stages first.
Okay.
Rough guess, I would say 2 years. Maybe. Okay. DSA takes.
I know, I think you're being very liberal with your.
With 2 years.
With 2 years, yeah. Maybe 3.
The good thing is, if the board approves this plan, this is now ready to go into DSA within a week or so. So that's a good thing. We're sort of on a timeline.
Yeah, we gotta get it approved through DSA, CDE by August, isn't it?
Well, let's approve it. I make a motion to approve the modernization project.
Yes. Okay. All in favor? Curriculum and instruction, first reading review of the school plan for the student achievement, informational. I guess these should be principals are doing this. You need to take a break and we'll take it.
Can you make a motion for a break?
No, I mean, that's up to you guys. If you guys want to make a motion, we're gonna take a 5-minute recess.
Just a 5-minute recess.
Okay.
So we're.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Holmes, are you presenting tonight your school plan for student
How you doing? You recall, I was just wondering.
You are?
Why is it called Halsey's?
There was a teacher there when the school was first built that so actually it was not a teacher.
Mr. Holmes is presenting. Presenting this one.
I just wondered, I knew somebody would know. There's a plaque in the library, but I knew somebody would remember why. Yes, she's really enjoyed it. All thinking that? All in favor?
Aye.
You ready?
Okay, first reading and review of the school plan for student achievements. Informational site presentations by site school principals. Matt, you're up.
For our first goal, we're addressing English language arts. Our needs can be seen in our data right there. The CAP score for all students are in yellow in the dashboard. And then it shows the subgroups for each of the following. So we have a lot of room for improvement. And our students are they began the school year going through below grade equivalent based on benchmark assessments. Our goal is that all students in K through 5 will show growth into their STAR reading benchmark assessments from the beginning of the year, August 22, to the end of the year, May 2023. Strategies that we have in place is our MTSS, our Multitude Systems of Support, Teacher Clarity, K1 paraeducators, that should have said K2. We have them in second grade now. PLC meetings and trainings. Our PLCs have been a major focus this year and will continue to be in the next each year. So we put a lot of systems in place thanks to Mrs. Lacey. Our trainings, our SMART goals, SST meetings, the K2 success for all, the reading and math, in this case, just the Reading Academy and summer school, ACES and universal access for all strategies that will help us reach this goal. Goal number 2 is for mathematics. The need shows in our CAP scores for all students on the dashboard. It's 106.3 points below standard. And then we're below grade level, grade equivalent based on our benchmark assessments. Our goal is by June 2023, a minimum of 80% of all students, grades 3 through 5, will improve mathematics scores on the CASP assessments by 15%. Strategies and activities include the SST coordinator, who is just working like crazy. Our classroom paraeducators, our iPads and student laptops and digital tools, and then again our PLC trainings, the ACES and the Math Academy. We've added Math and Reading Academy classes. There's a great need for it. We appreciate the ability to expand that. Our English learners, goal number 3, the dashboard results show that our EL students scored 89.3 points below standard in ELA and 110.3 points below standard in math. Our goal is that our EL students will increase the 22-23 CASP scores by 20 points. Also, the number of students scoring at levels 1 and 2 on the LPAC will decrease by 10%. And our strategies are our designated EL strategic instruction, ACES priority. So our ELs have priority to the after-school program, and English 3D for 4th and 5th grade. Suspension rates. We are really working hard on this. We saw some immediate results in the first semester. We are struggling over the last 2 months, and we're starting to see a better trend now in March. So the need, 21-22 school year, the overall suspension rate was 3.81%. And that was down from 1.03% from the 18-19 school year, which is the most recent full year of education. So we had a drop. The goal is that the rate will be reduced by at least 5% annually. So we are working really hard on this. Our strategy and activities is to increase the number of recess times, which this is, I believe, the second year that's happened. Continue to expand PBIS and CKH programs, that's Capturing Kids' Hearts, positive behavior intervention and support, and implement restorative practices along with the new, it's not totally new, but the newish SKUST discipline matrix. The one I'm really excited about is the restorative practices. I've never been formally trained until this year, and literally the day I got back, I was already using these practices and plan to expand quite a bit. I was just very impressed with the training, so thank you to the district for letting me go to that. And I would suggest that all of our administrators go to that. Just a great training. Mr. Small was able to go as well. Goal 5, parental engagement. The parent survey showed the need for greater individual teacher-parent communication and more fun evening activities. And I believe they did a pretty good job last year talking to the PTA. Our goal is to increase the percentage of parent involvement in school events and volunteering by at least 10%, and increase the parent community members that actively read and visit school communication by 10% annually. So the strategies: family literacy night, school dances, school newsletter, Blackboard communication, art show, Thanksgiving and Christmas donations and distributions, which were amazing this year. Absolutely amazing what we provided for our community. Between California Highway Patrol and our PTA and parents, they did a great job. And then the updating of the school website. That's it. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Christine.
Yes, sir. You talk about, you mentioned in your plan about your English learners, I believe is goal 3.
Yeah.
Can you just, we've taken that allotted time, and now we have time for our English learners, and we've also had UA time.
Correct.
Can you just kind of just tell the board what's going on in those 2 distinct time periods on your campus daily?
So our kids are receiving specific instruction to help them improve their reading, their speaking, and so we have consistent training with our staff as well that have I guess they volunteer basically to be the ELD trainer for their grade level. And so they're receiving training. I don't know how many have we had this year. It seems like we've had 4. We have people come on site, model, and so we pull our teachers. We have subs. They meet with the trainers. They learn the techniques to not just deliver, but to instruct. So they're able to learn how to deliver the instructions that these kids will respond best to. I think that has been, aside from the designated time, because you can designate time to teach these kids to help them improve, but if you lack the strategies, then it's just a waste of time. So I think the training has been the best element this year to help our teachers that are doing the designated EL. This has been the most productive part. And the teachers tell us this as well. When the trainers are finished and they come through, we just met with them yesterday, I think it was yesterday. They stopped by Casey and I's office, and they were so excited that the teachers were excited. And so this is helping them actually apply this training immediately, because they're trained, and then the very next day or the next week, they go in and they have their kids again, and they are able to improve their support for these students. It's just been a great process this year. And this is the first time I've ever been able to really observe that. But I don't think we've done this before in this district, correct? This setup where for the elementary, where we've had the training and the blocked out time at the same time.
Well, I think we've had last year prior, we did the ELD block, and we didn't really bifurcate it with the UA time as well.
Yeah.
Which means your English learners are getting both.
Right, and they're leveled, the kids are leveled, so you don't have a level 1 with a level 5, so that you have a group of like-minded children working at the same pace. So it's been really beneficial. I'm excited to see what our scores are, but the excitement our teachers have is what I'm really glad to see. They're not bad-mouthing anything. They're appreciative. So good job, whoever created that setup. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, first of all, to your teachers and you and Miss Ament, but we also want to thank Miss Noemi Herrera,
Right.
our director, who oversees that and
Yeah.
does a phenomenal
It's just
job.
watching it unfold, because I had looking at this, coming from middle school to elementary, I had really no idea what they were even talking about. But once you're able to walk in and see what's going on and talk to the trainers and then talk to the teachers, it's starts to make sense, and it's just really cool to see that unfold like it did. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna avoid this squeaky part where Natalie kept standing.
There's a clicker.
Okay. Okay, so I'm kind of filling in here. So, so our first goal is English language arts. Our need CAS scores for all students is low, range 30.8 points below. It's standard 395. All students in grade K5 will improve their STAR language arts benchmark assessment scores by at least one grade level from the beginning of the year assessment results to the end of the year benchmark assessment results. Also, 90% of all students in 4th through 5th grade will show a 15% increase in their EL scores on the CAS assessment. So some of our strategies right now, we've been using the iReady pilot, which has been really effective. Hopefully we can adopt that. Our paraeducators in our TK first, second, and our kindergarten in first and second, now we have second, have been used extremely well. So I go through classrooms all the time, and I'm able to see how our teachers use our paraeducators, and they use them testing, working in small groups. So they're not using them for like making copies and things like that. That's not a very good use of a paraeducator. That's better a parent volunteer. So they use them very well. The second grade team has one now, and they're using that. She's in all the different classrooms, so it's been wonderful. We also, PLC meetings is a big deal. That kind of brings us all together. It's just that opportunity where teachers can look at data and work with each other in a group in their grade level teams, and they can see what kids need, what interventions they need. And to me, that's probably the biggest part that's going to make all this work together is our professional learning committees. And then the big part of that is the goals that they set in those meetings. They set SMART goals. That's a huge part. Unless it was here, she created an amazing document. You go through it step by step. That's a big, huge part of having a very effective PLC. So that's probably one of the big things that teachers can go through, and they can then look at, wait, what do these kids need? And so we have our SSTs. We have our 2 SST coordinators. They help, when these interventions aren't working. We go to have an SST. We have our reading academy. We have our after school academy. Summer school, ELD language acquisition. We have our UA, and then we have our ELD and our language acquisition. 2 different things. Both really good because our ELD, we're focused on the kids who are ELD learners, and then we still working on language acquisition with all the other students. So both very good. So we have our mathematics score too. CAS score for all students is in the low range of 65.8. Pretty much everywhere kids miss right math, but we want that to improve. 65.8 points below standard 393. All students in grade K5 will improve their math benchmark assessment results by at least one grade level from the beginning of the year benchmark assessment score to the end of the year benchmark assessment scores. A minimum of 90% of 4th, 5th grade students will improve their mathematics score CAS assessments by 15%, just like with the English language arts. Again, some of these things that we use in math, IXL, the paraeducators, PLC meetings that go along with the SMART goals that are connected with that, our one-on-one devices. These are some of the things that we do. Our SST meetings, our leadership, where we can evaluate a lot of this stuff. These are the strategies and activities that we are focusing on to help improve our math scores also. Our English learners, 24 of our EL students progressed at least one L level. 14 of our EL students decreased one LP level. 19 of our EL students maintained an LP level of 1. And 2L, 2H, 3L, I don't even know what those mean. Okay, let's be honest. And then 42.1% are making progress toward English language proficiency. Number of our EL students, 57 students, are performing at level 2. So the goal, our EL students will increase their CAS score by 20 points annually. Also, 5% of our EL students will progress a level who are currently at a level 1 and 2 on the LPAC. And some of these activities are the big ones. We talked about ELD instruction that we have 30 minutes a day, taught daily, and obviously we've had that ELD training also, as well as with RES. We have EL individual student success plans for 1 and 2s, and ability to take the CAS in small groups. For 1s and 2s, EL will be monitored in Elevation, the program we use for EL students. Suspension rates, staff need to be trained. Suspension rates, I have gone down, but staff need to be trained by administration in positive behavior interventions in sports. So this is one I worked on the single school plan. I think our suspension rate is pretty low, and I was looking at the data from the first semester because we didn't have a lot of data recently. Suspension rate is pretty low at West Park. Been working at that, but did look at some things that we can improve with referrals and things like that. And so one of the big ones is capturing kids' hearts in the classrooms. That part, where the teachers are making connections with the kids, that's a big part. PBIS, the big one I've been really focusing on lately is with our CSOs. Systematic supervision, how you supervise, you're moving, you're scanning, you're in your area, and you go to the places where you have the issues. And so that's a big focus, so we can improve those things, so we can be a little bit more proactive. So these are some of the things that we're doing. Some of the things we did, just like RES, we have several lunches, K through 5, everybody is separate. So, you don't have as many issues. Kids are you only have first grade together, only second grade together, only third grade together. You don't have it mixed. So this is, we want to continue to expand PBS, train staff in PBS, train classified and our CSOs and PBIS, and making sure that, we're working with teachers and capturing kids' hearts, and hopefully having more teachers trained in capturing kids' hearts, because it's a great program. Parental engagement. The majority of our staff and parents in our needs survey and meetings feel that the school does a good job of providing opportunities for parents to be involved in our school. The majority also felt that our school does a good job of school-wide communication to student households. The needs survey did indicate a need for more individual teacher-parent communication and for more fun evening activities, academic and social, for families. Definitely an important thing when we have those, everybody loves them. We have a game night, dance, it's fun, parents come, it's great. You get to interact with everybody, get to know people. It's great for the kids, it's great for families. So one of our goals is to increase parent engagement participation at school events annually by 10%, based on data collected during the 2019-20 school year. Also, 90% of West Park teachers will make at least 10 parent contacts each month. I do feel like our teachers are pretty good at making contacts in a variety of ways, from using, a newsletter, calling. A lot of them will use Class Dojo or Class Tag. There's a lot of contact, which I think is wonderful. I think it should be at all grade levels, but communication is really important. So some of the strategies, activities: literacy night, sweetheart parent-student dance, fall festival, avid night, math game night, monthly, quarterly parent nights, school-wide communication, Blackboard messages, newsletters, teacher-parent communication, website updates regularly, and monthly West Park newsletter. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right, so this is Tropico's single plan for student achievement. Hit the wrong button now.
Yeah.
Let's make sure everybody's awake. Goal 1, English language arts. So we looked at our scores. We saw that CMS was significantly below the state recommendation targets. So our big thing is getting the CAS scores for math and ELA up 20 points. We have a couple of initiatives we're going to be trying to do. We have practice CASP exams next week, which we're gonna start rolling out some initiatives for them, which Gates had given us a great idea, doing like incentives for the kids who are really focused on the test. I'll give them some tickets, and the next day doing like a raffle, get like a $5 gift card or a free burger somewhere, something like that. But we would do that during the lunchroom. During the lunch, we're going to put up on stage a curriculum board where it'll go around so all the kids can get engaged and realize, all right, maybe if I pay attention more, if I focus more on my tests, the teacher will see it, I get a ticket, maybe I get a reward. And then there's a bunch of other programs we're doing, but so we have the iReady, we have for math and reading intervention, we have intervention classes, which we pushed this year. So we have tier 1, math and English. Our tier 2 English is more reading support. Benchmark, I believe we've already done it 3 times this year. It should be done a 4th time to see where the students are moving to. With that data, that's how we figure out intervention classes for ELA. I'm not, sorry. Mathematics, same things. I'm not really sure what happened here, but it says suspension rates are consistently high. I think we're just pushing that across the board. I don't know why, sorry, this got messed up. This is supposed to be mathematics. It's the same exact thing, not exact, but we wanted to push our mathematics. Same thing with our CAF scores. I'll have to fix it because this is last year's actually. So Mr. Adams, good job on the suspension rates, constantly high. You maintained that, which we'll get to that in a second. But same thing for math. We need to get our students more involved, especially for these CAS exams. Because let's be honest, that's what the county sees, that's what the state sees. We know a test doesn't define the student, but we need the results. We need better results. Our English language learners, our L learners, oh my gosh. Our L students at TMS is currently at the low level for making progress towards reclassification. Obviously, that's our goal. We want to get these kids mainstream back out of that class. For us, they get an extra elective then. Right now, all of our L students are in the L class. So we want to raise our percent of making progress towards the goal of 5%, which I think is we should be able to do, especially we have new curriculum, which is the English 3D. That is removed this year. I believe we'll do better at it next year for multiple reasons, but I do think we'll do a lot better at it next year. College and career readiness. Data showed a significant decrease in overall performance on the CAST in the 21-22 school year. So our point is we want to get standard met level by 5% and decrease the standard not met by 5% annually on the science exams. Now, obviously, the science exam is going to contribute to engineers as well as our math and English. But we looked at our science scores and said this is something that can really catapult them, especially with the high school. You have ag, you have the medical profession, stuff like that, where it can really get them trending in the right direction. We did start our new curriculum this year of, oh my gosh, NGSS standards, which we were already doing last year, but we kind of went full throttle this year with TCI. There you go. Our entire cafeteria, I should have added a picture to this. It was completely full of boxes, literally the whole cafeteria. Was full of boxes that was used for experiments this year. Then they were all moved into our hallway. Good thing we got them out of the way because then we had to use our hallway now for 7th and 8th grade. But what it shows is they weren't just moved down the hallway and put in another storage thing. Our teachers are using them. And we're getting more and more experiments done in the classroom, which again, I think will help to increase our scores. Parental engagement. TMS, we do see a big need to increase. One of my things, and obviously my wife's a mental health therapist, so obviously it's something that's pretty close to home for me, but is getting more SEO nights, getting Mr. Rodriguez, who's on our campus, a social emotional person involved, where we could have that, tips each month, where we could rotate across our whole district, just different things that maybe elementary kids can use, high school can use. But with that, also then having SEO nights, I actually said I wanted to do it monthly. Lacey said, slow your roll a little bit. Let's try doing it quarterly. But we do want to start pushing out, getting our parents and our students more strategies for dealing with anxiety, dealing with school refusal, dealing with just being a kid. I mean, we're in middle school, and I don't know if we really sometimes identify that, even at the middle school.
to say these are just normal kid problems that they're going through. But it's a lot easier said than done. So having the people come out, having parents come out, engaging them, letting them see that they're not alone. Because I know a lot of times, just sitting there when we're doing risk assessments and stuff like that, or just watching some of these kids talking to them, sadly, sending some kids up to the Bakersfield, our parents do think they're alone. Our kids think they're alone. Having these quarterly nights, tips each month. I've been trying to do that in my newsletter, but that's more for me. I need to get more of the SPED department and on our professionals involved in doing those tips. So I do think that'll be a huge success for our campus next year. And I think that's where we're at. But there is a couple of things I know suspension rate. I think that's where I messed up. I don't think it was supposed to be math. I think it was actually supposed to be suspension rate. But I did want to share with the board that looking at our suspensions, and I know this was not part of the thing, but I have two things I just wanted to share with everybody. So far this semester, second semester, we've actually had, and I'm not proud of the number, but I'm proud in retrospect, we've had 40 suspensions since January. If we look back, August we had 14, and I'll just stop here. We're not going to get all this nasty stuff, but just alone in September this year, we had 42. So I do think our message is getting across. I do think that you, the board and Ms. Gaines and district, by investing in getting us more administration help, getting us proper administration help, to be quite honest, has shown a difference in our campus. Obviously, I said they're here, and now we've been able to, and I say I've been able to, move on from our behaviors, because I do think they've improved across our campus, to now looking at more attendance, looking more at our tardies. I've already met with Mr. Wexler to go over how we can get better phone calls home to parents. We just got to figure out tardies, how to get that out to parents. I've been trying that, just getting daily emails, period-wise, day-wise, and stuff like that. So I just wanted to let you know, I think the investment you're putting into Tropical is showing. And then I know this is late night, but the last thing I did want to share is I'd be remiss if I didn't give credit to my staff today. So I just wanted to share the letter that I actually sent to them, to the board. So it's going to be a little bit probably cheesy, but that's all right. I'll let you all know that that this is what went out to my staff. But I'd really like to thank my entire staff for the amazing efforts today to keep our students safe and secure. Students were inside and secure today within 2 minutes from the announcement. Students were grabbed and brought into various classrooms as staff opened the doors to ensure they were secure and to lock them to make sure that's what I'm saying. We saw many teachers literally calling in and dragging kids, not dragging in a mean, like getting kids in the room because they saw the severity of it into their rooms. Not only did staff complete an incredible lockdown drill, and I say drill because we're all safe, but lockdown, they did this during our 8th grade lunch. So this is with nearly 200 kids, over 200 kids outside of our quad area. They were our CSOs. Everybody was able to get them into the cafeteria. The cafeteria was locked and secured with nearly every 8th grader on campus quickly and efficiently. And I did have a couple of responses to my blackboards. I think some parents wanted more communication and stuff, but I did get some emails back from parents thanking the staff. I mean, it was more about the staff than myself. So all of this was due to all of my staff's selfless efforts. Most of my staff have kids on the campus. So I know myself, I had today my wife and son on campus. Our attention though went to the kids that were in our care. So I do want everyone to know that I personally am extremely proud of the entire staff as well as the students. Today as a campus, we showed our community that when a parent drops their child off at the bus stop, front gate, or front door, each and every child has the entire staff supporting them. The bottom line is that, this is where the cheesy comes in. The bottom line is every eagle made it home safely today. So I just want to thank you.
It's been a long day, so promise I'm gonna go through line by line. Right here, it's okay. All right, so single plan.
has 5 goals too. That's our little brag. Risk, AVID, CT pathways. First goal on the plan is to increase the number of students who are college and career ready and who are UC and CSU eligible on the California dashboard by about 5% annually. So a couple of years ago, it came in about 30.4%. The goal now is to increase it by 5%, and that will take us to 33% if you calculate it at the end of the school year. So we're growing in the number of kids who are college and career ready. Doesn't that sound like Kim? I realize that. Doesn't that sound like you know? The annual measurable outcomes are, so we have that, the metric of 33%. And how are we going to accomplish that? Well, we now have a college and career, hopefully, we wait still, college and career counselor who will meet with our subgroups, the African Americans, the English learners, to kind of bring up the more access to the freeway from the on-ramp, as we call it. Offering AP classes, and having the college and career counselor to assess transcripts for the A through G requirements. We haven't had a counselor all year, but we were able to work with the academic counselors, the Slipari and Mr. Hanson, to compensate for that. So that was paid attention to from the get-go. And also AVID, increase the number of students enrolled in AVID classes and taught with AVID strategies in all classes. So all that collectively should help us boost the percentage from 30.4, which is a 2-year ago metric, to 33% at the end of this school year. Goal number 2 is about our mental awareness program. When we had the continuous improvement plan process going on, we arrived at this, and it works out perfect to be in one of the goals. We want to increase the awareness by 100%. There's no room for error with this one. So it has to be 100%. We want to make parents aware, students aware, teachers aware, and what the collaborators included was not only suicide and depression, but the introduction of the opioid problem in the Rosamond area or the Antelope Valley, if you look at it in a broad area. So how do we accomplish this? To expand the mental health awareness, we have to have the frequent face-to-face meetings with parents. We have 3 is our metric. Send newsletters. We're moving from 3 to 5 newsletters. And we have 2 anonymous reporting systems called Stop It and Gaggle. Stop It and Gaggle is like a 24-hour anonymous program. I know that well because at 1 o'clock in the morning we get calls. We're always on standby for that one. And we take them very seriously. But we want to be able to decrease the amount of referrals, which would reflect on the success of the mental health programs during the day. So the more therapy, the more access, that should lessen the referrals. Actually, they have been lessening in the last 2 or 3 months. And also for the referrals to Ms. Cambaliza, we want those to go down by the end of the year. So we want it to decrease, which would show a correlation between the therapy and the success. So we have that. Those are the strategies. Also, open access to the counselors. We're quick to react to kids who have needs to see a counselor on a daily basis, or the mental health therapist. Access, they all know about the software program, the Gaggle and the Stop It. So we get those reports, we tally them, and we measure them if they're going up or down or flatlining. And quarterly parent-student education night through the Hope Squad and the mental health services. to deal with things like human trafficking, real problems in the school, suicide prevention, cyberbullying, and of recent, after being trained, now we introduce opioids. Send home flyers and information, basic stuff, to parents and students on a mental health topic. And it could be one of trafficking, suicide, cyberbullying, opioids. I also mentioned the whole week coming up next week in the newsletter. So that's goal 2. Goal 3 is parent engagement. This one, we want to increase it up to 50% from post-COVID into this school year, using the data, attendance sheets, examples, just tickets being sold, any basic metric. We want it to go up to 50% this year, but the goal is to go from this year to next year up to 75%. We discussed that, I know, at length in my school site council meeting. So we're going from 50 to 75. I just said that. How do we accomplish that? The use of social media. I think we're doing a good job in advertising and communicating with the outside world. Facebook, Blackboard, Parent Square, and so forth. The CTE department itself, they have meetings to discuss and help guide the classes or to provide orientation through these meetings to industry standards. I have my, through school site council, I had the school site and the ELAC meetings every month. Avid Family Nights, still a work in progress. There's a lot of Avid events going on to send the message out. And a History Family Night is something I have to pursue still. Goal number 4, the big one, to get our test scores up. Language arts is doing fairly well compared to the state average with a 44% meet or exceeding percentage. Standards, math, as you know, is on the lower end, but we want to grow everybody. This one we talked at length with Ms. Lacey. What should that number be? And everybody, if we grow from the beginning, at some point we could try to catch up. Well, it's not a race, but we don't want to push it too much to frustrate people. We want a small incremental growth that's better than a big jump from year to year. It's been proven during the previous era in NCLB. So 10% is the goal. How do we do that? Some key things jump out there. We're talking about rigor in the curriculum. There's a lot of great stuff we have at the school. We have Doug Fisher, learning intentions going on. That's catching on well. So that's going to help with the exposing teachers to a more refined way to deliver instruction. And we want to increase the rigor from 10th grade, don't wait till the testing year. Language and math. Rigor, same thing. Then we have students, number 3, students will have more opportunities to enroll. So we want access to the higher level math courses. We have to raise the bar for everybody. No matter how low performing kids may tend to be when they arrive, we have to challenge them and not bring it down. We have to keep them going upward. And that will help the scores to make improvements too. Or for the AP classes, again, it's key that all students have access. And we have a fair system to allow all subgroups equal access. And after school tutoring took a little while to get off the ground, but we still have something in place right now and started recently. And it's going to be a last minute effort to get the math scores up a little bit. If every child grew by 1 extra point, multiply that by all the kids in the 11th grade, that would translate into a higher overall API test score. Goal number 5, the last goal, is about our English learners. Our English learners being a subgroup that have always trailed behind the other overall school scores and other subgroups. the goal here is to increase by 5% the reclassification rate. If you go backwards from that 5% reclassification, that means that from the arrival point in the classroom to the annual LPAC test, rigor has to be evident. With the rigor, better performance, and higher possibility to a more predictable possibility to have a higher reclassification rate. So including our special ed kids, all English learners need to have that 58 minutes of designated ELD, which is happening with English 3D is the program. And during that time, they get differentiated instruction using the English 3D. We have our 2 academic counselors who I've been meeting with on a very frequent basis. We meet with them and I check the pulse of our different subgroups, look at the data. Academic counselors check in with the English learners to make sure they're on track for the LPAC testing and reviewing their transcripts. That's really important that they know what these transcripts are all about and which, the pathway towards graduation. In the past, I'm hoping that we could still, when I arrived on the scene, we examined that and what it meant, spoke to the teacher in question, and I would like to see this goal materialize where we have a last-minute push to increase the rigor, so get them ready for their end-of-year CASP test on the interim LPAC test. And then the college and career counselor, if it happens, we'll have this person, full-blown 100% person who will be there to literally do the job and not be, like an appendage to the other tasks the other 2 counselors have. This becomes a priority, and I know next year it will be in full bloom, but right now, for the rest of the year, we want that counselor to get here quickly, get him a place, first of all, and have him work with our English learners, many kids, but this particular subgroup, since it's our SIPSA goal, to make sure they're on the college path, taking the required A through G courses. And and overall, the key to all of this is we want to make sure our EL students are exposed to high standards and rigorous curriculum. That's what I have.
Thank you.
Oh.
This one. Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on, he exited me.
That was my fault, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, we're sorry, David.
Hi, good evening. We're going to begin with Abraham Lincoln Independent Study. On our SIPSA, for our first goal, Abraham Lincoln will increase the number of students in each band, met standard and exceed standards on the CAS by 3% in ELA annually. All the teachers have been working with the students throughout the year on their note-taking skills. They surprised me at our last PLC. They've been developing a writing program. What they've noticed is that there is a huge disconnect in ability levels. And as soon as they finish the first round of writing projects, we're going to have that bound, and they would like to deliver that to the board just to see their first round of writing samples. From what I've seen so far, it's very impressive. Our second goal at Abraham Lincoln will ensure that all students make progress towards college and career readiness by the time they graduate. An increase of 30% will be shown for students' progress towards college career readiness on the California School Dashboard. We're excited. Right now we have 3, possibly 4 students that are concurrently enrolled at either ABC College or Saracosa College. That was not an option prior to this. I'm very grateful for the high school working with us. They got us in. Ms. Lampari has been instrumental in having a lot of our kids just apply and get accepted to that program. So we're excited about that. The kids are excited. They like seeing that on their transcript. Goal number 3 is to increase annually the number of students graduating within 4 years of starting high school by 5%. At Abraham Lincoln, we have a lot of students that, especially this year, we have gotten at different times. We're going back to when they started high school, whether it's Rosemont High, Lancaster High, Palmdale High. Our goal is that within 4 years, by the time they are a senior, they're going to graduate with a diploma from Abraham Lincoln. Our 4th goal, 50% of our students will be able to produce a writing sample at grade level with 80% accuracy based on a common teacher-generated rubric. That's what I was referring to earlier when the teachers are all working together. So I have right now 5 teachers at Abraham Lincoln, and they are all working together. They have come up with a common rubric. I looked at it and I went, ooh, I think we should lighten up in this area. And they went, nope, no challenge. Well, one teacher said it, no guts, no glory. And I totally agree. So I'm telling them to run with the ball. And again, I'm excited to look at that. Also, a huge benefactor for this and our math has been Mrs. Hopkins. She is our, she's a classified paraeducator. In reality, she's an intervention tutor. I've seen her run small groups. I've seen her on Zoom and on the phone. She is working with all of our kids. She is there Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, with the exception of this week. Unfortunately, last weekend, she broke her arm and she had to go see the orthopedics. We're crossing our fingers, no surgery. But the doctor put her out. She's not allowed to be back on campus until next Monday. The kids missed her. I've yet to meet any kid who is getting tutoring or has to come in extra time say, God, I miss my tutor. So I'm excited. She's doing a phenomenal job. I can't see what she has in store for us when she gets back. She'll be a little slower, but she's going to still just keep up the rigor. Our 5th goal, students at Abraham Lincoln will be exposed to academic vocabulary and use that vocabulary to communicate math thinking clearly and coherently to support the requirements of Common Core state standards, which will increase the number of students scoring at at Met Standard by 9.5% on the math portion of the CASP. In working with Ms. Coy and working with Ms. Hopkins, what we realized is that a lot of our kids know what they need to do. They just don't always recognize the language on the CASP test. So we are exposing them to more academic language. They may sit there and say, oh, you mean I got to do this? And we say, yeah, you're absolutely right. You need to put this one and this one together. But when you're a mathematician, you call it adding. You call it the sum of. So we take what they already know, and then we're just building in the academic language. Tell them this is the same thing. So they're going, okay, so that when they look at the CASP, it's not going to be, I don't know what this means. They're going to have a better understanding. They're going to say, oh, yeah. They write that in their notes. They write that in their journals. And we're looking, and I'm excited to see what our test score is going to be this year, because this is going to be the second year that our 11th graders, second year they've been exposed to, when our 11th graders get tested to see how well they grasp what we've been teaching them and tuning them on. Any questions about Abraham Lincoln? Okay. If I fast forward, it goes to Rare.
Mr. Torres,
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
want to say to you that I love the idea of the rubrics. I think that's something that you should bring to the next grading committee. Perhaps share one of the writing rubrics that your teachers have created, because they're already where we want to be to some of our assessments, and rubrics are a great way to go.
Sure. Again, from Mrs. Stevenson.
Thank you.
Rare Earth High School. For Rare Earth, our first goal will be to increase the number of students in each band, again, meeting standards, exceeding standards on the CASP by 3% in ELA annually. We get them at different times of their academic career. We get them different times of the year. But the goal is still there. For those that we've had for at least a year, and our 11th graders this year, we're going to increase. A flaw that we noticed this year is not all the teachers had the same requirements for notes. So what we will be instituting as one of our strategies is, and we've already started to work on this, is we are coming up with a common format for note taking. The students are able to use this on a regular basis. And for our go-getters, the notes are beautiful. They bring you to tears. For those that are not as motivated, we get 1 or 2 words. So by giving them an actual template, asking them and teaching them what they need to fill in, how to take the notes. Right now we're bouncing around with the idea of Cornell notes, because that's an avid strategy a lot of my teachers are familiar with, but the students are not as well versed in it. Or something that's going to be more of a narrative that they would be able to refer to when they are studying for an exam, the midterm, or the final. So we're working on that for this year. Our second goal at Rare Earth will be to increase student attendance school-wide by 5% annually. I know that we got most improved, and I'm very, very happy that we're back in the positive. But chronic absenteeism is synonymous with Rare Earth right now. We are having a real issue with that. We're making phone calls home. We're bringing parents in. We're conferencing with them. Maybe we're going to need to sit there and start looking at some incentive program. My only hesitation is most employers don't have an incentive plan for you to show up on time or you to show up to work every day. So we don't want to build any bad habits that they're going to go to McDonald's and go, but Mr. Torres used to sit there and give me a cupcake every month if I came in. So we want to prepare them for the real world. We want to prepare them to be responsible. I don't have any singing stories for this year. And the last year we got one kid that graduated from school every day because his mom would send it to auto answer and I sang to him and that was enough torture to get him to school every day because he wanted me to stop. But we don't have that in place this year, unfortunately. Our third goal, Rare Earth will increase annually the number of students graduating within 4 years of starting high school by 15.5%. Last couple of years, we've seen a small decrease in the number of graduates. We're sitting at about between 50, 51%. We need that to jump up. A large portion of that is just motivating these kids. We've been meeting with, the teachers meet with them on a weekly basis. We set goals. I'm sitting down and I'm meeting with them. And if the kid has got kind of a lazy-daisical attitude, we're calling mom, we're calling dad, we're calling grandma, and giving them the option. Either they can come down and meet with me and the kid, or they can just put me on speakerphone at work, and then we can have that conference right then and there. I've seen an increase in the number of parents coming in. Small, but still there. Oh, do I need to tap something? Thank you. So we're looking to increase that more by next year. We're also looking to get the teachers more involved. I figure I could be the hammer, they could be the soft touch. I want them calling the parents or the kids are coming every day and just going, hey, Mrs. Gutierrez, I just want to let you know your son has been here every day on time. We are so proud of him. You're doing a great job. We figured that'll keep the parents motivated. They'll tell the kid, and hopefully their kid will continue to come to school on a regular basis. Tell his friends, hey, you're not going to believe this. I finally got a good call after whatever number of years they've been at school. So we're looking to sit there and just have the teachers be the soft touch, and then I can come in and have the difficult conversations. Our fourth goal, 70% of our students will be able to produce a writing sample at grade level with 80% accuracy based on common teacher-generated rubric. Once we get all the kinks out of what the teachers are working at Abraham Lincoln, we're bringing it to Rare Earth. We realize that we don't have a conference time in the morning. However, during their English class, we could take the first 20 minutes, and we're still playing with the idea of direct instruction. Actually sitting down the entire group, telling them to, this month we're going to write about, let's say it's October, we're all going to write our own horror story. We can instruct the entire class, give them the expectations, give them the rubric so they know what they're working on. They can brainstorm at home, and then come to school. Feels like home sometimes. And come to school and then work. And then we're going to teach them how to peer edit. Because in 52 minutes, it's difficult to have the teacher go in conference with every student every day on a rough draft or whatever the questions they have. If they peer edit, that teaches them a good skill. They're working collaboratively, and we can get through it a lot quicker because majority of these kids, as soon as they are credit deficient, are more concerned with getting caught up than actually learning how to write. So if we present it to them in this manner, I think it'd be a huge advantage. And when you look at resumes, job applications, there won't be as many grammatically incorrect or misspelled words. And our final goal, students at Rare Earth prepared for college or a career will be increased by 100%. Rare Earth will increase the number of students able to currently enroll by 100% each year, measured by applications and the meeting of eligibility requirements. Right now, we have 2 students at Rare Earth that are concurrently enrolled at AV College. We can do a lot better than that. I've got a lot of really bright kids. Sometimes they forget about it. I'm excited that if we approve the college and career counselor this evening, that I can borrow him sometime. But Mr. Parr and Mr. Hansen, they do a great job. They come over once a week, and I give them a list of kids I want them to meet with, and then just meet with them, and they get them where they need to be. The teachers meet with them, I meet with them. So we figure if we get a 4th touch, I'll have a lot of kids up and ready to go and ready to go to college or a career. And I believe that's all I have. Yep. And if you have any questions, we are in Rare Earth. Yes, ma'am.
Just a couple things. You mentioned the Cornell notes is what I can do. By any chance, I know we have 60 teachers registered for Abbott this summer. Are any of them yours?
I believe one is.
Okay. So what I can possibly do is see if I can get Mrs. Brax at the high school to come over during a PLC time or a time maybe before school or something to give your teachers a tutoring session on how to do a Cornell note. It wouldn't take them very long. And if she can't do it, I certainly could do that. Love the idea of having them on the same type of note-taking thing. And other thing that you mentioned was peer editing. Peer editing is very powerful. I love the track you're on, Mr. Torres, because peer editing, and the more you edit your peers' papers, the better writer you become, because you learn not to make those mistakes that you're acknowledging or correcting on your peers' paper. So that's a very, very powerful tool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll get the garden up there.
Okay, next up is adopt the MGSS science curriculum for Roseman High Early College students. Excuse me.
Yes. I'm kind of where I am real quick. Oh, okay, this is an action item. Roseman High Early College campus has decided with a unanimous vote to adopt McGraw-Hill Inspire Science. It is NGSS standards, next generation science standards based, and so I just need board approval so we can get these materials ordered.
Make a motion to approve.
Second by Randy. All in favor?
Aye.
Second interim report, Mr. Irvin.
Alrighty. You still awake?
No.
Well, good, because you won't be after this.
Robert's got jokes.
Alright.
Got jokes.
So second interim, so this is our second look during the fiscal year of how are we doing. Hopefully at this point, districts aren't having red flashing lights. That, we're headed imminently for a cliff because we're also at the end of non-reelect and layoff windows also, so the personnel side gets real difficult after this. Thankfully, we're not in that position right now, so fingers crossed, knock on wood. I don't have to deal with it. So we're going to start off with revenue. Things will start to look rosier, and then it gets a little bit more doom and gloom after that, but that's, kind of the nature of things right now. Our estimated revenues for this year are $73 million, which is a lot higher than it was last year, but this year's state budget included extra LCFF base COLA, learning loss mitigation funds, more funding for ELOP. The district also received the grant money for the community school partnership.
So there's, more sources of money coming in, which are great. The increase up to 73 is about $8 million more compared to first interim ones, because more of these funds get, also the art music education block there. There's a lot of funding that is coming in right now, but all sounds great until we start looking into the multi-year and things go hazier. So our unrestricted revenues are based off the LCFF calculator. So this is basically an Excel spreadsheet put out by FICMAT of how the districts stack up, what is their LCAP look like, what is the district's student population made up of, and how does that reflect back into our supplemental concentration dollars. And then also we have our restricted funds. This is our Title I's, Title II's, our categoricals, the COVID dollars, things that, have specific strings attached to how they get spent. This interim, it includes, the community partnership program, but ESSER 3 doesn't include all of that for this year because we still have ESSER 2 dollars, and we have another year and change of ESSER 3 to, maximize the lifespan of these funds, but still spend them within their allocated windows. Right now, our estimated funded ADA is at 3298, almost 3,300, which is based off of our total at P1. And our reserves are projected at 21.15% by the end of this year. Right here is a breakdown of all of the revenues. You'll see that there's a slight dip in state LCFF revenue, and then a major swing on the other state revenue. Also included in that is, again, the community school partnership was $1.3 million. There's the 60% reimbursement on the transportation that's new to this year's budget. So there's a little reshuffling and some major swings on things that are state funded. Overall, so that, there's the breakdown of everything there. And then we get to, more of the doom and gloom part of things, our expenditures. It's nice to see, the money coming in, and a little sadder to watch it go. But, it's all for positive student outcome and all of that. So, the goal is not to hoard all the money. But right now our budgeted expenditures are at $62 million. Again, this is more of the one-time funding for supplies, support, services that, also this includes the carryover from last year's LCAP. Our current S&C for this year, so supplemental concentration dollars that I mentioned in revenues, go to fund our unduplicated people, so our foster homeless youth, EL students, free reduced, all of that. Right now, based off of the LCFF calculator for second interim, is at almost $12 million. And then 73.89% of our budgeted expenditures are salary and benefits for employees. Here's the breakdown of expenditures, where you see a large, not a major shift on the salaries and benefits side so much, but where you see the big shift is our service and operating expenditures and our books and supplies, where some of this is, as we all know, the districts had staffing issues and all of that. So where we haven't had, on-staff psychologists and SLPs, that, becomes work that we then have to contract out. So that's getting reported out in the service and other operating expenditures. And then as we work through the COVID dollars and, the joy of the FPM audit and everything, and making sure that things are being spent properly and not just, we have money, let's just throw it at a bunch of stuff and hope nobody, there's eyes on all of it, and I don't sleep well enough as it is. So I'm trying to make sure everything is buttoned up and that it doesn't boil down to, we gave you $8 million for this and you got to figure out how to pay us back for it because you did it all wrong. Those are the things that keep me awake at night. So there's, as far as capital outlay, that may increase. It's gone down temporarily here. It may increase with some, depending on how things line up with transportation before the end of the year, where
again, if we need to increase routes and things, we're gonna need vehicles to move students in. I don't think we have enough people to do piggyback rides across town. Thank you.
He's on fire tonight, right?
I'm trying to keep people awake. I know you guys are all dead. It's been a long night. So this is what the current year assumptions are for the multi-year projection. It includes our current year COLA, our base grant COLA, what our current ADA percentage is, and the number of students. And that, our restricted funding includes ELO grant money, IPI, all just alphabet soup acronyms of learning loss and COVID dollars, basically. And then this is where things get a little more gloomier and murky, is the out years for multi-year. Because even in getting ready for tonight's board meeting, read an article from UCLA School of Economics on, is the state heading towards a recession? They're not sure either. For about a year now, it sounded like, okay, yes, we're on the cusp of it. We're on the cusp of it. We're on the cusp of it. And right now, it's at best things kind of grow, but not really. At worst, come into 2023, beginning of 2024, there's a dip and we actually finally hit an actual recession. The COLA for the multi-year for next year is based off of the governor's January budget preview, which happened January 10th, and then basically simultaneously I learned what an atmospheric river is when the north half of the state flooded, which will now delay state taxes as counties and affected folks have extensions on when they can pay their taxes, which is great for them. Kind of makes it hard for them to budget if the stuff that was due in April won't get paid till October. So it kind of leaves a gap for the state. And then same thing with the weather last week. In all, I think there's 21 counties in the state now that have extensions on their taxes. So not exactly sure what state revenues look like for next year. January, the governor was very high on education as part of the overall budget, which great for us because that's where we are. But based off of the Legislative Analyst Office review of the budget, they thought that was a rosy outlook and optimistic, and given the constant march of inflation, CPI going up, delay in state revenue through taxes. While the COLA might come in at 8.13, it very likely may not be funded entirely. That's the 813 is a statutory number, so it's based off of 2 years worth of data that pops out a percentage of this is what your COLA is statutorily, and then the difference becomes what's actually funded. Hammering the legislature to be, pull back some off of education so Health and Human Services can get something. Or, here's what state transportation needs are. Like, we're all jockeying for the same pieces of the pie. So not entirely sure how that will, shake loose in the dust. CPI is based off of school services dartboard, which is a helpful tool that also has upcoming costs for employer pensions. Given the uncertainty of just overall economy, if there's going to be a recession or federal funding, I have projected relatively flat. And then the funds that are expiring at the end of this year or September of next year, have shown fully expended while continuing on with ESSER 3 because there's another year of it. This is what multi-year projection reserve balances look like currently. The last couple interims and things, it's been more of a rocket ship of, everything going up. Given how uncertain the future looks, it's more flat than it has been, which is, I think, getting more and more tethered to what reality is, and as time has progressed and everything, is the rubber band effect of revenues and, here's all of the state and federal money we can throw at learning loss, starts to come back into what, resembles the way things have more traditionally been done. And then here are the cash balances of the other funds as of yesterday morning, and expected balance for state facilities, number Fund 35 down here, where it's 15 million, but that's where the tropical project's being paid for out of. That's what the modernization at RES is going to be paid out of, where so actual cash balance is higher than that. So this is just expected by the end of the year with all the pay apps and everything that come up, as weirdly enough, the contractors don't wait till everything's completely done to send one invoice, which, you know, probably helps for budgeting purposes. And that's the end of that. Hopefully I did not put
Robert, I just want to say that, and I don't want you to go back to it because I know everybody's exhausted at this point, but one of the things on your presentation that I absolutely am excited that we have been able to maintain that is the 73% in salary and benefits, and I think that leads to us not having to anticipate any kind of layoffs or reduction in force. So, yeah, great job, kudos.
Okay. Accept finally the second interim report.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approve the following list of personnel items, Ms. Hargis.
Yes, yes, you approve our list of personnel, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention, I heard a lot of people say that they had a lot of work for that college career course.
I don't know, you know, might be a little too much.
I make a motion to accept the personnel items.
Okay. And then second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alexi.
I was second. She's the real MVP, right?